What if Ramadan was never just a month of fasting? What if hidden within ancient texts, both Islamic and pre-Islamic, there were prophecies that pointed to Ramadan's profound influence on the world, not just spiritual, but social, political, even global in scope. For centuries, these clues were overlooked, dismissed as allegory, myth, or the poetry of devout minds. Tonight, we dive into these hidden prophecies to uncover a narrative that challenges what we think we know about Ramadan and its place in humanity's unfolding story. Because sometimes, the past doesn't just explain the present, it whispers of the future. The Quran itself references the continuity of fasting. Fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. Yet, the early Islamic scholars and mystics hinted at something deeper. That Ramadan was not only a spiritual reset, but a catalyst for a transformation in human societies. Manuscripts discovered in Cairo, Baghdad, and Cordoba speak of a month of illumination, a time when communities rise in consciousness and morality. In these early commentaries, fasting is more than abstinence. It is preparation and annual alignment with divine guidance that could ripple across nations. But the story does not begin with Islam. Even before the Quran, scholars have found prophetic writings across civilizations, suggesting that periods of collective restraint and spiritual focus heralded societal change. Across Persia, Mesopotamia, and the Arabian Peninsula, fragments of texts and temple records hinted fasting or ascetic rituals tied to cosmic events. The Zoroastrian Avesta, for example, mentions periods of abstention to purify the world, where human action and divine timing were intertwined. Similarly, certain Arabian oral traditions spoke of months when the people of the desert would seek clarity through fasting, noting that these times often preceded shifts in leadership, alliances, or tribal fortunes. These pre-Islamic echoes suggest that fasting was recognized as a universal tool for transformation, bridge between human discipline and destiny. When Ramadan emerged in its current form, it tapped into this ancient knowledge, codifying a practice already recognized for its social and spiritual power. Why is fasting so powerful? When communities synchronize in abstinence, removing food, drink, and worldly distractions, they create collective focus. This shared discipline sharpens empathy, strengthens bonds, and resets moral awareness. Early Islamic mystics and scholars saw it as a tool to cultivate taqwa, God consciousness, not just individually, but societally. And here's where prophecy comes into play. Texts suggested that periods of heightened taqwa among communities often coincided with pivotal social, cultural, or political transformations. Fasting was not merely devotional, it was a catalyst, a force that could reshape hearts, minds, and even nations. Throughout history, the global spread of Ramadan coincided with remarkable societal shifts, from the consolidation of the early caliphates to cultural renaissances in Andalusia. Periods of intensive religious observance appear aligned with the rise of scholarship, civic harmony, and moral legislation. Ancient scholars interpreted these patterns as signs of the divine hand guiding human civilization, an echo of prophecy written centuries before the events themselves. Even in modern times, Ramadan continues to influence international relations, charitable giving, and cultural awareness on a global scale. The prophetic suggestion seems clear. Fasting, when practiced collectively, can align human action with a higher purpose, producing societal ripples that transcend borders and eras. Archaeology, historical records, and comparative religious studies reveal a striking pattern. Spiritual abstention, observed collectively, consistently precedes moral, cultural, or societal transformation, from Zoroastrian and Mandaean asceticism to Christian monastic fasts. Humanity has long recognized the power of synchronized spiritual focus. Ramadan did not invent this idea, it refined Italiano. And the prophecies encoded in Islamic and pre-Islamic texts suggest that the rhythm of fasting itself carries predictive power. It signals readiness for transformation, both for individuals and for societies at large. What do these prophecies tell us today? They suggest that Ramadan is more than a religious obligation. It is a temporal marker, a recurring signal for reflection, alignment, and transformation. When communities engage in fasting together, They participate in an ancient rhythm that may subtly influence collective behavior. Some texts even hint at global consequences, improved cooperation, heightened morality, and spiritual awakening on a mass scale. The prophecies remind us that when humanity disciplines itself in unison, the effects can resonate far beyond the individual. Ramadan becomes both a mirror and a lens, reflecting the human condition and focusing it toward higher purpose. Perhaps the most profound insight is this: fasting is not merely a ritual. It is a mechanism for spiritual foresight. The prophecies embedded in ancient texts suggest that by observing Ramadan, humanity participates in a cycle of preparation and awakening, one that can influence the trajectory of societies. In a world fragmented by distraction and consumption, the ancient wisdom remains clear. Restraint cultivates clarity, empathy, and foresight. So when we consider Ramadan in the light of prophecy, history, and spiritual practice, we see a tradition that reaches far beyond a single scripture or culture. Ramadan emerges as a bridge linking the ancient past to the unfolding future. A single month of fasting, observed globally, carries echoes of prophecy and the potential to shape humanity's trajectory. If this exploration expanded your understanding, like the video, share it, and subscribe to Hidden Behemoths US for more deep dives into forgotten wisdom and hidden spiritual forces. And tell us in the comments, do you believe that fasting can influence the course of history? Until next time, stay curious. Stay seeking.